Hey guys, so after 9 years, Stranger Things has finally ended. And you know what? I think it's about time. um, I think the last season kind of dragged, if we're being honest. Not to say there wasn't good moments, but I think out of all 5 seasons, season 5 was definitely the weakest. Um, After episode 7, which I think was the worst episode of the entire series, I was expecting this finale to be dog shit, but honestly, it wasn't bad at all. It was an okay finale. It wasn't to the highs of, say, Avatar The Last Airbender or Better Call Saul or Breaking Bad or Mr. Robot, but it wasn't to the lows of, say, Game of Thrones or The X-Files. It was somewhere in the middle. Which, you know what, I'll take what I could get at the end of the day. It's I think the problem was season 4 set the set the stakes so high, and season 5 kind of I don't know. I feel like they tied too many things up in a neat little bow. Like those you think there'll be more like intense battles and more deaths, but everything just seems to have a happy ending for the most part, except for 11. Uh, I thought Vecna's actor, Jamie Campbell Bower, he gave such a good performance in this episode. That scene with him in the cave was absolutely amazing. He is such a talented actor, and he's able to show so many facets of this villain without fully redeeming him, which I think is the good choice. If they redeemed him, it would have been like such a cop out. Um, but some stuff in the episode don't really make much sense. Like when he was dying, where was all of his Demogorgon minions? They just stopped existing, right? And like his Demogorgons, his flying bats, his Demodogs, the Mind Flail just kind of died. I don't know. I just feel like sometimes it was over a little too quickly, and the season's problem was they'd always put these characters into huge life or death situations, and they're like, oh my god, they're finally gonna kill somebody this time, and then at the last minute there's a Deus Ex Machina, and they're saved, and everything's fine, like Jonathan and Nancy in episode 7, and then Steve in episode 8, and pretty much every character has this season where they're about to die and then saved at the very last second. Um, and I don't know. I feel like the villains were kind of rattled down at the end, but I did love the epilogue. I like I like all the characters end up in the at the end of the show. It has this bittersweet ending, especially to me, who's been following the show since I was in middle school. I was in like either 7th or 8th grade when I started watching this show, and now I'm about to I'm a senior in college. I have one semester left of college. That's crazy, isn't it? Like how the time flies, right? Um, I like how all the characters got a proper goodbye. I don't know how I feel about Eleven's ending. I'm sure she died. There's no way she survived that. Like after her sister that nobody really cares about got shot, there's no way she was able to stay alive. At least a couple hours, I'm guessing. Like an hour at the least is the amount of time it took from that happening to them, escaping the Upside Down. There's no way she was able to stay alive that long to do the illusion trick for 11 so 11 could escape. Also, if 11 did escape, I feel like she would have left a note for somebody. Like she would have like put a box of Egos on Mike's bed or something. Kind of like what House did to Foreman after House faked his own death in the series finale of House. Uh, so I like to think that 11 died. I feel like it would have had more emotional weight because Stranger Things does that thing a lot where like a character dies and it's this huge big dramatic moment and then they're fine. It's like Monty Python. I got better. So yeah, I guess 11 dying does help with that a lot. I like how Mike stays hopeful though, because 11 told him you need to be there for the other friends, and I like how it ended with it ended with the older kids on the rooftop talking about how they're gonna stay in touch. It ended with Joyce and Hopper getting married, and I thought that was really sweet. And it ended with the kids playing Dungeons and Dragons one last time, which I thought was also really sweet. Um, so yeah. Also, what the fuck happened to Vicky? She just disappeared out of nowhere, didn't she? She just vanished. Um, also, is Paul Reiser, aka Sam Owens, is he still handcuffed to that lab? Because that's the last time we saw him in season 4, and he's not been seen or mentioned since. So is he okay? Is is Derek's family still like tied up somewhere? What happened to them? I think they were in the finale a little bit, but I don't remember. Anyway, not the best finale, but definitely could have been worse. That's all I gotta say. Stranger Things has been a huge part of my life for the past 8 or 9 years, and I feel like no matter what happened in this finale, I would have been emotional seeing it end. You know, when those final credits rolled and they saw the old drawings of the characters we've come to know and love. It was emotional, I gotta say that. Um, I think like the last time I felt this emotional about a show ending was Better Call Saul. So let me know down in the comments what you guys thought of the finale, and I will see you guys next time. Peace.